Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Thank you for joining us for Bspn's Meeting with the Manager. I'm your host, Phil Accio, and on tonight's show we have a very special guest everyone's very excited to hear from, team manager James Barber. We're going to ask him a few questions and see how he's feeling entering his third year in this league. James, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing. How you doing, Bill? I can call you Bill, right?
No, absolutely not. But yeah, no, we're glad to have you on. Glad we could work this out. Entering your third year, you're a hot team, man. You're on the rise. You're showing everyone what you can do. I'm sure you're proud of how you fared last year, and we're excited to speak with you, see what you're thinking, how you feel your team's going to do this year. To start, beginning your third season, you're kind of quieting some of the doubters. You have 2 wins in a row right now. How does that feel to quiet some of the doubters in your journey?
They're never quiet. They're always talking. If it's not one thing, it's another, and we just kind of, we're learning to look past that. And I'm sure they all say, Team Chubb, we're just a fraud. We've won both our games in a row, as you say, by a combined total of 5 points. So, I know we look at that, and we're playing down to the competition, but we're looking for a big week coming next week.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. You've had some very close games, nail-biting finishes each time, just trying to hold on to that lead or even recapture that lead in the first game. So, I'm sure your team's still looking for that first big dominating win to really establish dominance. Speaking of that, do you have a chip on your shoulder, some type of, bone to pick with the league over your first year and the situations that arose regarding, you had some difficulty with the draft, end up or needing assistance with the draft. You couldn't log on to the app for most of the time through the year, had to make your adjustments certain ways with people assisting you and things of that nature. Does that cause some, animosity in you at this point?
So, Bill, if there was a chip, I ate it. If there was a bone, I picked the last bit of meat off that bone. That was last year's story. This is, never really been a fan of your program. You guys are always a bit behind on the news. This year, we're on to bigger and better things. All right, we talked about that. Everybody's aware. Everybody's also aware that in that season, we made the playoffs with no trades. We drafted that team, and we stuck firm with it. That year that everything went wrong, Michael Thomas, first overall pick for me in the first round, and he went out game 2. Next year, Christian McCaffrey, first overall pick, goes out 5 games. We've proven we're here to win, injury, but we make it happen. So. And
listen, I understand that. I think I've been a huge proponent of your team management the whole time you've been in the league. I really did have to rub some shoulders to get you back in the second league. People thought you just, weren't going to care, weren't going to make adjustments. Right. I kind of realized that wasn't the case, and I'm glad that you came back and showed maximum effort last year. And, a 2-win, season this year so far. I think that's very impressive. So what are the standards and expectations that you've set with your team? I know you mentioned taking a big step forward in your progression. What do you think the ceiling is for your team this year? Are you expecting? Don't sugarcoat the answers for me. I want to know how you feel about this group of guys.
We trimmed the fat. Last week we had a guy put up 0 points straight to the bench. It's next man up here. This week I had another player 0 points. Last week gave me 2. There's better out there, and we're not afraid to let them go. We're not sending out any trades. We're not panicking. We can work the wire. We're open to hearing about trades if anybody has any. But
wow,
I've got 1 in the inbox so far, but I think my team I drafted will do just fine if nobody has anything to send.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. Meeting with the managers, Bspn Scoop. James Barber is open to trades. I know that there's a couple injuries already in this early season. Some people could probably benefit greatly from that. James, do you feel that you've been treated fairly from the sports media so far? I know, obviously you've had some turmoil, and we talked about that even briefly. But do you think that, certain people have it out for you, or, predict your negative outcomes, or even prey on your downfall? Is that how you're feeling so far?
I mean, honestly, you know how I feel. I'm here so I don't get fined. This is, part of the contract, what we got to do every year. Yeah, fuck Dick
Hey,
8.
whoa,
Oh,
whoa, whoa.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Send
listen.
me that in the mail. Send me that in the
Hey,
mail.
between me and you, I'm sort of feeling the same way. So,
Mm.
but
Oh,
we'll talk
okay.
about that off air,
Right. Sorry.
right, guys? Talk about that off air. So, James, are there any matchups that you're looking forward to this year, and any that maybe you're not looking forward to? Anybody you're not looking forward to facing?
I in the sports world, I feel like we earn rematches, and Team Spina last week was a very exciting game. I look forward to seeing that happen again. We haven't looked too far ahead of the schedule, so I don't know if I play him again or when. But it's week 1, so I imagine he'll work his way back around. Definitely looking forward to that one. And like I said, I haven't looked too far forward, but Team 1-2 put up huge numbers this week, thanks to defenses and a couple other things falling into place for him. But we're looking forward to prove that we can keep up with a team like that. So next week is all that matters.
Absolutely, just looking forward. I like that, and I know you talked about in our last question trimming the fat, keeping your team, as versatile as possible, as many points in the game as possible. I know you drafted a guy pretty highly, number 25 overall. That's the first pick of the third round, by the way. You drafted Cam Akers, Mr. Cam Akers. You also have Darrell Henderson on your bench. Now, I know you have replacement, but how long do you plan on keeping those two players on, taking up space on your roster, and kind of juggling that situation out before you start to feel uncomfortable with the situation, the running back situation in your room?
Well, the way that I look at it, we reached a little high for Cam Akers to, your point. We did pick up James Robinson, however, with the 97th overall pick. And there were some, what, and like, oh my God, what, all that. But those are the same people that drafted Travis Etienne,
And what a revitalizing year for James, by the way. I mean, coming off the Achilles injury, and a lot of players struggle to come back from that and have meaningful snaps. And here he has 2 games where he's had very, great performances, I would say. And you just look trekking forward. And obviously, Etienne as well is going to be a wonderful player going forward. But to see that veteran guy coming back in, getting in the swing of things, and kind of looking as healthy as he did, or even better in these snaps, is a great thing. So that's awesome, and you have some replacement. But obviously you have to keep an eye on that situation. You can't keep 2 guys of the same backfield for very long.
I mean, why not? I have other guys. Ronald White can go. He's out there. He doesn't really play. White back up for Fournette. He can get cut. If Odell doesn't find a team in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you can find him on the wire. I mean, I'm fine with having a handcuff. Whichever way it goes, split backfield. Look what Aaron Jones did this week. A.J. Dillon, everybody said this was his year. We'll see which one explodes. I had Darrell Henderson on my team last year as my RB2, and he carried me all the playoffs. So, and Cam Akers isn't going on the wire.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, we got some thinking to do, and like you said, you're open to trade. So, but before we get out of here, James, do you have any words to the league? Do you have anybody you need to address? Do you have anything you want to be known? Do you want to make your presence known right here, right now, face forward to everyone? What do you have to say?
Fuck Dick Aiken.
We said that twice already. Thank you so much for joining us on BSPN's edition of Meeting with the Managers. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Sam's Clams. If they're in a shell, you can tell that Sam's Clams, Sam's Clams, Sam's Clams, Sam's Clams. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week.